Nong-O Hama fights through the fire, defeating Kongthoranee by unanimous decision to make it one apiece in this epic rivalry. Tye Ruotolo retains his welterweight strap, getting past Dante Leon. This is the One Fight Night 31 recap show, and it's coming up next on Fighting with Friends. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends, the undisputed African fighting podcast, champion of the world. One Fight Night 31 finished just a few minutes ago from the legendary Lipeng Stadium in Bangkok, Thailand. And recapping the card with me is the reigning defending undisputed vegan champion of the world. That is, of course, Brother Gaia. Brother
What's
Gaia.
happening?
Brother Gaia.
Yo, instant reaction, you say?
Yeah, the body's still warm here. But yeah, we just come fresh off a live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We have been up since about 2 a.m. South African time, so excuse us if we're a little bit worse for wear. For BG, the professionals that we are, we start.
Yeah, at the top of the card. Let's go.
At the top of the card, we did see my guy, Nong-O Hama, defeat Kongthoranee So Somai in quite an epic battle here. Unfortunate that it was only 3 rounds, but
Yeah.
Nong-O coming through the fire here, avoiding a narrow KO defeat and ending up getting the job done. So, BG, give us your
Mhm.
thoughts here, please, sir.
Yo, exciting main event. Both these guys are top of the food chain, and the fight went out pretty much how I thought it was gonna go. I wanted Kongthoranee to win purely because he's the younger athlete. I feel like there's more for him to actually get the title and defend it. Whereas Nong-O, at 38 years old, I don't know if he can still do that. But I feel like I need to eat my words after that performance. I feel like I need to take everything back as I said because he didn't look like he was 38 years old. He fought like someone that was much younger than Kongthoranee. He was vibrant. He did what he didn't do in the first fight, which was push in the pace. He walked Kongthoranee down, kicked a lot more, which is shades of old Nong-O, of young Nong-O, by the way. So I thought he fought really well and he made the fight 1-1. And when I said in the preview, the first fight was ended in a way that didn't favor Kongthoranee. I didn't think that he was doing well, even though they said he won the third round. I thought Nong-O was coming hard in that first fight in round 2 and 3. Like really went in hard, and um, I kind of felt like it was continuing from that fight in this fight. The way the second fight started, it was like Nong-O just went in hard, just like he did in the third round of the last fight. Won the first round quite convincingly, by the way. I thought he was more active. I know you said it was quite close, but I thought that his aggression and going forward was undeniable. I thought you couldn't take it away from him. I thought that he actually won that first round. Second round, I would go as far as to say that he possibly lost that second round by a 10-8 because he wasn't as aggressive. Kongthoranee switched up. His boxing timing was better. He landed a lot more frequently, and he actually rocked Nong-O to the point where you thought he was actually out on his feet. I thought he was going to get finished there, and he didn't. And he actually lost that second round, but he came back. And like you mentioned in the beginning, he fought through the fire because in the third round, he was by far the better fighter in the third round, like by far. There was moments where you had to be careful because when Kongthoranee did counter him, he got clipped, and it didn't look very good when he got clipped. But he stuck it in there and he kicked so much more. And he had Kongthoranee looking very tired and but jaded in the third round and ultimately winning the fight in a very good fashion, making them 1-1. And like you said, you wouldn't mind seeing them go into a trilogy fight and maybe even being a 5 round fight. I would love to see it be a 5 round fight. I just don't know if Kongthoranee gets that trilogy match anytime soon. I think he's going to have to fight down the card at the moment. Being ranked number 3, I think he definitely has to fight down the card now. And Nong-O can go up and challenge for someone that's a bit higher ranked. And unfortunately, I say unfortunate because I want to see him do another fight before that. But the next two guys that's above him is Superlik and Rodang in the flyweight Muay Thai rankings. The belt is vacant. So I would say Nong-O against Rodang for the belt, bruh. That would be the next matchup. If you're not going to give him anyone else because the next person is Superlik, he's not going to get Superlik anytime soon. So I would say just give him a Rodang. As for Kongthoranee, he's gonna have to fight down the card. I don't think he should be fighting Nakarab next because he beat Nakarab already. And the other person that's ranked in this division is Johan Estupinan, and he's on a 4 fight win streak at the moment, and he's ranked in the top 5 of the division. I don't know. Could he fight against Kongthoranee next? Maybe that would be a good fight to watch. But to conclude my synopsis of this main event was for me it was really fun to watch. And Kongthoranee should hold his head up high. He lost against someone who is a legend, 8-time champion. He did almost beat you in the first fight, by the way. So I don't think he should be sad about that loss. I think he should be quite proud of how he did. And for Nong-O, looking forward to seeing him go for the title, dude. He turned back the clock quite significantly for me in that fight. So big ups to both guys.
Yeah, I did indeed, but I just want to get your thoughts on this. We did see an immediate rematch after Kongthoranee won the first fight. Um, so what's stopping them now from doing an immediate trilogy, do you think?
The only thing that's stopping them for the immediate trilogy is Nong-O and his status. You know what I mean? Being 38 years old, I don't think they're gonna want to keep him long. You know what I mean? How long are they going
Mm.
to keep him keep him fighting for? You know, he might say, "No, I can go, I can go, I can go." But realistically, is he really going to be able to fight till he's past 40? I don't think so. You know, I know
Yeah,
Sam A is doing it, but I just don't know if he can do it. And especially because it's in a division that's full with killers, bro. So I don't know if they will give the rematch. I think they might just go straight for the vacant title, especially because it's vacant and Roteng
yeah,
doesn't have an opponent. And I don't think they should give Roteng Superlex. I don't think they should give Roteng Takeru either. Not next at least, because it's a waste of talent. And I think that he should get the fucking title back. Honestly, I feel like he should just go fight for the title next. And Nong-O, being an 8-time champion, having that amount of notoriety around him, I don't think it would be smart for one championship to not give him that title shot. Giving him a
mm,
rematch against Kongthoranee won't do anything for the division, if I'm being honest. So I would say give him the title shot. If he loses, he loses. If he wins, he wins. But yeah, the rematch can happen after that if he wins or
yeah.
loses.
Yeah, look, I mean, from my side, I just think that if he fights for the title now, and like you said, he doesn't have long to go. So if he wins the title, and then you know what next, then he vacates the title, and the title's vacant again. So I would say for me, bro, because he's not going to be a long reigning champion simply because of his
Mm,
age, I would say go for this fight, bro. It might be a little bit biased because I want to see this fight again for 5 rounds.
yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm standing.
But if it's for
And
5 rounds, it has to be for a title then.
yeah, I don't know, but I just like to see these two go at it for a longer period of time and make it really definitive because both fights ended 9 decisions.
Mm,
And it was very close. I say very close, but both guys gave a good showing of themselves in
mm,
both fights.
mm,
So it's 1-1, but not really as decisive as it could have been. So for me, I'd like to see immediate rematch here.
mm.
I don't think Nong-O should fight for the title just because of his age. So yeah, let us know in the comments if you have any thoughts on that one. But yeah, okay, we'll keep it moving. We'll go down to some welterweight submission in grappling here, and here we saw the kid Tye Ruotolo get it done against Dante Leon. Quite a dominant performance. Got a
Yeah.
takedown early. Controlled Dante Leon. Dante Leon, of course, very defensively sound as we predicted.
Mm-hmm.
Did kind of see this one being a bit of a stalemate, PG, you said, and it kind of
Yes.
turned out exactly that way. Really high level stuff going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, give us your thoughts here, please.
Yeah. Again, a lot of fun scrambles between the two guys, the way they were going at it. But I think it's safe to say that Tyler Tolo did win the fight, like quite definitively, actually. Once he got the takedown early, he put Dante in the defensive positions throughout the 10 minutes. Like Dante didn't even try. He did try to get some catches, but it wasn't necessarily out of his own fruition in terms of forcing the narrative here or forcing the envelope in the fight. A lot of it came from having to defend himself and then hope to catch something if there is something. And he only really could try and catch something when Ty allowed him to by maybe shooting for another takedown or trying to reverse the position or trying to unlock something else. But Ty was the one that was pushing for submissions most of the time, very close to landing a few of them. And just had Dante playing defensively for the whole fight. And you can't really score a victory to someone who's playing defensive the whole time. He was not really doing anything to win the fight. So you can't really say much from the fight because I did say it was going to be a stalemate, and that's exactly what we got. Just because they're both very equal and it's high level, dude. This is what's going to happen if we put these kind of guys that are very, very uh, defensively sound. You know, you can't really put guys like us away when they know how to stay out of danger. And I
Mm,
mean, that's what we got here. And I have to give props. If it was going to be, even if they were going to have two 10-minute rounds, or let's say they have one 10-minute round and then one 5-minute round after that to have like a definitive round, I would go as far as the Ty probably would have gotten him because Ty was close to getting a submission at the end of that round. At the end of the fight, he got the leg. He was going to go for a full leg extension, and I was like, it was there. He was basically in line to block it up. So I would love to see them either extend the one round to maybe 15 minutes instead of 10, or give an extra round for extra 5-minute round so we can get to that that definitive thing, because we might just see a lot of 10-minute fights where guys don't actually get the submission. And
Mm, mm.
that's what we've been seeing frequently in the one championship. So um, either add another round or make the one round a bit longer so we can see these guys go and get that finish. But I didn't really expect the finish in this fight. If I'm being honest, I didn't think anyone was going to get it done. I just think whoever was going to be more aggressive was going to win, and that was Tye. And big ups to Tye, bro. I'm looking forward to seeing his MMA debut.
Yeah, yeah, I think you called it there, BG. And yeah, it is a bit of a strange one that it's only one 10-minute round because I mean, these guys train for how many months to roll around for 10 minutes and that's the end of it. You know what I mean?
You
So,
see,
do agree there should be a bit more time to let, especially guys of this level, work because
yeah,
it does take time to kind of unpick the lock when it comes to these kind of fighters. So,
that's
do agree there.
that's
But yeah, drop us a comment and let us know your thoughts on that fight, ladies and gentlemen. Like and subscribe to Fighting with Friends. And then yeah, we'll keep it moving.
keep it
And here
moving.
we had the absolute performance of the night for me.
Yeah, KO's on
Abdul
it.
Faisal Alipourandi shocking us here, bro, on the live stream with that head kick KO against Liam Nolan. I mean, this was the highlight of the night for me, bro. This was absolutely out of left field, taking the fight on short notice and really
Yeah.
showing his mettle here, bro. So you were hyping Liam Nolan up, going
Mm.
into the
hmm
fight when he was walking to the ring. What can you tell us here, bro?
I mean, look, Liam Nolan was looking good. Let's be honest, he was looking good in the fight for however long it was before he got clipped. Um, and he is a top talent. I just think that we have to start. I'm going to take a moment just to pay some respect to Abu Fazl, just because as a short notice he missed hydration. He had to make it attempt twice to make the weight and hydration, and he did get it in the last moments of the time limit to make that weight and hydration. So he did it short notice, and then coming in and putting a performance like that, you could see by his emotion after the fight that it meant a hell of a lot for him to actually get that dub. Because if we're being real, he did take on someone of high caliber and a good name who was basically one fight away from fighting for a title, if you're being honest here. So for that, I have to give props to Abu Fazl because, oh, what a freaking high kick of note. And it was a walk of KO, by the way. Walk of KO.
All the
And Liam
style
Nolan is
points in the
taller than
world,
him.
bro.
You know what I mean? He's a lot taller, so he had to really get that leg up there to reach that head kick. Because it was the cleanest head kick. It wasn't like off the arm and then like a Justin Gaethje kind of buzz. It was literally cleanest fucking head kick you could see. And Nolan
Mm,
was out on his feet before he even dropped. He
yeah,
was already out. He was like
yeah.
going down slowly. So what can you say, dude? He stole the show. Abu Faisal stole the show. It's for me knockout of the night. I'm surprised he didn't get the bonus. They gave Nong-O 50K. I would have given Abu Faisal 50K for that.
You
So
got it, bro.
yeah, big ups for
Uh,
him. The fight didn't go longer than a minute. It was under a minute before the knockout came. So yeah, great performance. Unfortunately for Liam Nolan, I'm very, very concerned for his mental well-being now because he was considering retiring. This fight was meaning a lot to him to come back. You heard that he opened up his own gym, fighting out to the Nolan gym. But what can he do now after losing like that? Does he go back? Does he go back to the drawing board? Does he actually go and retire now? What does he do next? I don't want him to retire. I want him to come back and compete again because I wouldn't put too much into that loss if I was him. It was a short notice guy, so there was no game plan for it. It was more of like I'm in training camp. I'm doing media week. I'm doing interviews. I just got to announce my opponent during media week. So it's like, what do? You know what I mean? You just fight the person anyway without a game plan. You just go in there and rely on your skill set. And yeah, I think Abu Fazl just threw a Hail Mary, if I'm being honest, and he got
Yeah,
the
I
dub.
mean, it was kind of obvious his path to victory there. He did take the fight on short notice, and he kind of came out like a guy who was fighting on short notice. He was super
Yeah,
aggressive, and
yeah.
yeah, fortune favors the brave. And on the night, what a finish, bro! What a finish! Wow. Yeah, absolutely worth the price of admission alone there, I think. But yeah, nicely done to Abul Fazl.
Hmm.
Do you have any final thoughts on this one, VG?
Now I'm keen to see what they're gonna do with this lightweight Muay Thai division. There's no rankings on the website, um,
Mm,
so let's see what happens. Let's see what they're gonna do with these two gentlemen for this division because I think it's safe to make the announcement that Regan Ursel is going to defend the Muay Thai lightweight strap against George Jarvis. So let's see what happens after that. I don't know if they can give Abu Fazl the title shot, depending on who wins
mm.
that fight. I know Liam Nolan was talking about fighting against George Jarvis after this fight, whether he won or lost against Reagan Ursel. So yeah, let's see what the future holds for lightweight Muay Thai.
Fair play. Let us know in the comments if you have any thoughts there, ladies and gentlemen. We will keep moving to some lightweight MMA. Yeah, we saw Lucas Gabriel defeat Zhang Lipeng by unanimous decision. Lucas Gabriel putting on, some would say, a grappling masterclass, but it did kind of highlight the logistics of the ring and the cage and all of
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
definitely on display there. But fair play to him. A
Mm,
lot of blood in this fight. Lucas was bleeding profusely from the nose. But yeah, he managed to get on top position, smothered Zhang Lipeng, and yeah, he managed to get a little bit of work done while he was in top position there.
mm.
So BG, give us your thoughts here, bro.
Yeah, look, it was firstly congratulations to Lucas Gable on getting engaged on the night after the fight. He proposed to his wife, and she said yes. So big ups to that. And he made a cool joke that what happened if he had to lose that fight. But I do think that Zhang Lepeng didn't recover off that high kick in the first round. Lucas threw a very good high kick, rocked the hell out of Zhang, basically almost dropped him, and then got him to the ground with a takedown. When he shot for the takedown, and then pretty much after that takedown in the first round, that became the story of the fight. Because then Zhang was trying to obviously get boxing range. Lucas was very good defensively in terms of striking, but once he got it to the ground, you could see he was more comfortable and he was okay to keep the fight there and let his hands go, some ground and pound. Zhang was doing okay from bottom. He was throwing some elbows in there, which ultimately what cut Lucas open in the nose, and that's why he was bleeding all over the place. But just not enough from Zhang to actually like turn the fight around, reverse the position, and maybe get back into some more offense. Unfortunately, he kept his legs locked, which held the position for that full guard. And yeah, both guys couldn't really move from that position, and Lucas stayed on top and utilized those small punches and just stayed active and worked for
Mm,
some submissions. Got the back on it in the third round, tried to get a submission, but didn't really land any of it. And a lot of the times, the referee had to bring him back into the center of the cage because they were continuously going out of the not cage ring, excuse me, out of the ropes, which is what I was talking about on stream live. When I was like, put these MMA guys in the cage rather. You not allowing them to display the full array of MMA when they're fighting in the ring, because you have to pause them every time, and it just sucks. It doesn't look good. So
mm.
yeah, but anyway, I don't want to tarnish the performance too much of Lucas Gabriel. It wasn't the most entertaining, but pardon me, but still good fight and a good win. Because I think if he had to keep standing in the fight, he probably would have lost. And I'm
Mm.
happy that he took the fight into his advantage. So yeah, you can't fault the guy for doing something like that. So big ups for Lucas Gabriel. Let's go, Brazil.
Let's go, Brazil, 100%. Um, there we go. Okay, so just one thing I want to get your thoughts on here. Something strange that we did see in this fight was when the ref did bring them back to the center of the ring. We had the fighter being wiped down because of the blood,
Yeah.
which was very strange. So just want to get your thoughts on what you make of that before we move on.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it, AD. I've never seen it before. That never really happens unless there's a massive eye poke or something, and then you see the doctors coming in there and they'll maybe wipe the guy down or so. But not do I have ever seen in the middle of a fight where you reset in the position and you take a cloth and wipe the fighters down.
Mm,
I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, it's in the middle of a fucking fight. You know what I mean? And also by wiping them down, you favoring the grappler. So I just don't
exactly.
think it was a smart thing for him to have done that. He just should have just left it, let the guy wipe the octagon, the canvas, and that's it. Don't even pick up that cloth. You're the referee. Just throw it back to the guy in the corner there. You referee the fight. And also there
Mm,
was something that happened in Friday fights as well, where the referee did something very similar. He didn't wipe anybody down, but he didn't hear the bell and let the athletes fight for 10 more seconds. You know what I mean? And you could see him getting reminded by his colleagues because he was looking around like this, like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Like, stop the fucking fight, bro. The ball went 10 seconds ago, and these guys are still throwing heat at each other. So yeah, a couple of amateur hour mistakes for my opinion, but yeah, I didn't change any of the outcome of the fight. It's still okay. It's still one.
agreed. Agreed. In that case, bro, we'll keep it moving. And here we go to Saemapetch, who unfortunately fell short here against Abdullah Dayakaev. Um, and yeah, Dayakaev coming back from a knockdown. Uh, Saemapetch waking up the beast. Abdullah Dayakaev coming back from a knockdown to get the job done in the second round by TKO. So yeah, but gutted here for Saemapetch. Um, was very hyped when he did get that knockout, and it looked like he was going to pull one out of the fire here, but unfortunately not the case on the night, PG. What can you tell us here?
Yeah, yeah. I say it with a heavy heart, but I think Saemapetch is gonna have to re-strategize his fight game, either develop a different skill set, maybe leave fair texting, maybe go to like a So Sumai or PK Senchai, or maybe just switch camps a little bit because although I like the way he fights, and I think he's really aggressive, and I like his style, but dude, he's getting dropped by everybody. His last three
Mm,
fights, people are finishing him quite easily. Like they all ending him within the first or second round. You don't even get to see the third round, and that's not really. Um, it doesn't spark a lot of confidence in me, And I
mm,
and I had a lot of confidence in him coming into the one championship, and I started watching it. I was like, oh, this dude is a killer. And when I watched him earlier in his career, he was utilizing elbows when people came in close. He loved the clinch. He was They show us highlights of him knocking people down with a left straight every single time. But that's not necessarily his game. His game is aggression, forward pressure, attacks the body, high kicks, body kicks. And when people get close to him, he throws in elbows. He's not using any of that. And what I noticed is when people are boxing him in his last three fights, when they boxed him, they all tagged him. They all tagged him cleanly because Saemapetch has a very ugly habit of extending his arms out like this when he's getting attacked. When people are coming at him and they're throwing boxing combinations at him, he extends his arms out. Why are you extending your arms out? You know what I mean? You need to cover up, move laterally, throw a jab, 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 keep your arms up, get back into the center of the freaking ring. The space is now yours again. Don't Because if you watch this fight, how quickly did he back himself up into the corner and then stay fighting out of the counter position?
mm,
Back on the ropes, back on the ropes. He's been doing that in his last three losses quite consistently, and I don't like that. And yes, pay respect to the athlete, his opponent who walked him down. But I mean, once you've been walked down, that tells me you are walking backwards. You're not
mm,
evading, you're just walking backwards and looking to counter. You're not actually trying to use the geography of the ring and get back into the center where you can actually evade a little bit easier. When you
mm,
back against the ropes, you can't go anywhere. Now you have to fight in this phone booth situation, which what Dayakaev was doing to him really well. Backed him up into a phone booth and made him fight in that exchange, and that's how Abdullah got his finish. It was two knockdowns, if I'm not mistaken. The second one was a complete drop and just like flatlined Saemapetch. So big ups to Abdullah. I did think he was going to win. My heart wanted Saemapetch. That's why I said I want Saemapetch to win. But I did say logically, logistically, that Abdullah is just gonna walk through him, dude. And that's exactly what he did. And you have to give him a good praise for that. And he's gonna be a tough puzzle for the bantamweight division. I mean, there are holes in his game. Saemapetch did drop him. He did drop him really well with the straight left. Let's be real. But he fought through it, and that for me speaks more volumes to an athlete rather than just going there and punishing the guy in the first round or second round. Having to
mm.
come back from a knockdown and still win the fight says a lot about an athlete. So I'm very excited for Abdullah in this bantamweight division.
Yeah, yeah, agreed there, BG. And yeah, I mean, quite a few obvious technical flaws here in some of Pick's games. So, I mean, we also mentioned that he has a habit of overextending every time he throws. I mean, we
For
love to
everything.
see fighters swing for the fences, but if it's going to result in you getting clipped every time you
Yeah.
overextend, then it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. So,
Facts.
maybe a change of gym, like you said,
That's
could
what I'm
be a
saying.
viable solution there.
Mm.
But yeah, if you have any thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in that comment section. And of course, like and subscribe to the channel. All those good things, and we'll keep it moving now to the flyweight Muay Thai division. And here we saw our boy Akif Guluzada get it done against Sean Climaco. Yeah, a relatively impressive performance over the first round and a half. But he did
Mm.
slow down considerably, and we did say that an opponent of a higher caliber here would have definitely put Akif Gulazada out, and yeah, it could have
Yeah.
been a different state of affairs. So yeah, give us your thoughts on the performance as well as the general future that you see here for Akif Gulazada, please, bro.
Yeah, one of the things I called for in the pulled up for this fight was to see Gulazada fight through adversity, right? I wanted to see him get knocked down or get rocked, and I wanted to see him fight through trouble situations. And the biggest trouble that he had to deal with in this fight was his own gas tank. He
Mm,
looked really good in the first round, knocked Climaco, for a six, and Climaco was looking a while to shake those cobwebs, but he came back and he was confident enough to make the fight a bit of a spectacle, we've been real. Because Akif adrenaline dump looked slow in that second round, looked like he was trying to recover and he was having a difficulty recovery. And that's what brought Sean back into the fight that made him, come back and use his jab. And he had Akif looking a bit like, yeah, why am I still here? And And even in the third round, dude, even in the third round, even though Guluzada came back in the third round, he did look like he recovered enough to stay survived in the third round. Sean still was putting the pressure on him in the third round. So he won the fight unanimously. Yes, he landed cleaner strikes. He got the knockdowns. It's hard to come back from a fight. It's hard to score someone once they got that knockdown, score against them. You know what I mean? Especially in the rule set, knockdown does count for a lot. So Sean had to get a knockdown back to make it even, and he didn't get that, and that's why Akif won the fight unanimously. However, I did see some holes in his game. Akif did look like he was getting tired. He did look like once he gets a bit tired, he doesn't attack that much, and he just moves back quite frequently and doesn't let his hands go that much. But that's what you get when we throw in wild spinning kicks so hardcore with so much velocity and so much strength, so much energy. You're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose your stamina. But he's 19 years old, so he's gonna have to learn how to deal with it as he gets older. In terms of his future, again, it's a flyweight division and it's a stacked division. So I would say give him some of the young lads. There is Jojo Ghazali is over there in the flyweight
Mm,
division. That would be a
that would be
phenomenal
a
fight.
banger. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That will be a banger. Jordan just won his fight on the night. Jordan is up there. There's Freddie Agadi needs an opponent. So there's a couple of young lads that is the Ramadan on Dash who looked fantastic
Mm,
against Kong Chai. There's a lot of names. There's a lot of fucking names that you can go up against that could give him a very good fight. And so I think any one of those guys from me I just named now would be a very good fight for Akif. For him to get tested, because I think
mm,
all those guys I just mentioned now would walk through Climaco quite easily. So Akif needs to go up against someone like that because the flyweight
yeah.
is filled with a lot of these killers, these young killers.
Yeah, yeah, exciting times for the flyweight division, not only now but also for the future by the looks of
Yeah.
it. So definitely keep an eye on this one. But all right then, BG, we'll go to another flyweight Muay Thai bout here, and yeah, we saw our guy Jordan Estupinan getting the job done against Ali Saldoev.
Hmm.
Yeah, impressive performance again from the young man. Again, I keep alluding to his debut where we saw him be extremely cerebral,
Mm.
selective with his shots, but also kind of showing that if he needs to, he can kind of invoke that killer and
You can
and
scrap,
and get
yeah.
be aggressive, yeah, and yeah, get into a scrap if he needs to. So yeah, again, very impressive performance. Would have liked to have seen him get a finish and really stamp it,
Mm.
but unfortunately that wasn't the case. But nonetheless, good performance by the young man.
Yeah.
PG, give us your sentiments here, bro.
Yeah, dude, impressive is the key takeaway for me in this fight, because like you said, Jordan looks cerebral. Sorry, he looks like he's in there and he's hard to hit. He's got very good footwork. He's got good kicks, and what I like about him the most is that he knows when to turn it on and when not to turn it on, which is a big thing to take away from someone that's young. You know what I mean? That shows a lot of experience. That's something that we saw in the main event with Kongthoranee and Nong-O. Nong-O knew how to turn on the experience, when to go in hard and when
Mm,
not to go in hard. And we saw Jordan do that. And that's impressive for someone that's only 22 years old. You know what I mean? That's a big sign. And I'm keen to see more of him. Look, it's hard thing to get the knockout because I have to give props for Ali to be defensively sound, because there was moments where he was getting caught and you could see he was like, but he was twitchy and he was moving a lot. He was defensively sound, but he just wasn't offensive enough. And that's what made Jordan just win the fight, because when the time was there for him to throw down, Jordan was landing first and he was landing more cleaner. He was throwing body kicks, he was throwing hard kicks to the carve, and when they got him close, he countered with the hooks of the right, left hook. And like you said, when he wanted to turn the killer instinct on, he did, and then and made Ali back up every time he wanted to come forward. So yeah, what I thought was impressive about Jordan was that he showed me that he can fight a fight in any avenue. You know what I
mm,
mean? When it comes to fight, back foot, front foot, go from side to side, make it a bit of a gunfight if he needs to, or he can just piece you up and he can do it quite comfortably. So yeah, I think he's the better fighter between the two Estupinan brothers, and I'm more intrigued to watch him. Not to say anything bad about Johan, because Johan is hella exciting to watch. He's aggressive, he puts on very entertaining fights. But as a fight fan and a fight enthusiast, I like Jordan's style a bit more. So big ups
mm.
to that performance.
Yeah, great performance here, and yeah, again, exciting times for flyweight Muay Thai and the One Championship. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have any thoughts about the Estepinian brothers, specifically Jordan, let us know in the comment section. All right, thank you, BG.
Mhm.
So as always, we'll go to some final thoughts now, as well as a post-fight card rating.
Yeah. Final thoughts. I think the two MMA fights on the fight card is what was a little bit dull. But other than that, all the other fights were amazing for me. I know you didn't fully enjoy the card. The only thing about the card that I will say that was a bit down for me was that it was just seven fights, seven fights, which sucked. I wanted to see more, but what was great is that it made an early night for us, so we didn't have to shoot record for 7 hours. But the fights were great. Good fight in the main event. I'm gonna stick with the 7.5. I didn't do enough to make it go higher, but I also didn't
Mm.
do a lot to make it go down. I thought there was enough fights that kept the rating the same for me, so I was quite impressed for that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I called 6.5 on stream, but earlier, but having now reflected, I'll push it up to a 7. Again, it didn't blow the socks off me, but I
Mm,
think Aliporandi's knockout, purely for shock value, gives it that extra point 0.5 for me. The Nong-O Kongthoranee fight was, as
yeah.
advertised, absolute war, really high level Muay Thai, and Nong-O showing his experience here, getting it done. But yeah, again, thank you for everyone who tuned into the live stream. If you have made it this far in our video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to Fighting with Friends. Watch the podcast every day, Joe Rogan. But from myself, PB, BG, Jedi Knight, all of us here at Fighting with Friends, thank you so much. We'll be back for the UFC. We are out of here.